example looking for the permutations of the letters of the word Mississippi. Permutations, we want to see how many ways we can rearrange these letters. Now the difference here is if we're doing a permutation with letters that repeat. We look at the word Mississippi and we see a lot of repeating letters. So here's how we are going to do this. First, we want to see how many letters do we have, and if we count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we have 11 total letters. So we are going to do 11 factorial, but then we have to divide it down. We have to get it smaller because, you know, if I took these two S's and I switched those, the word would look exactly the same. So technically it gives me a different arrangement, but because it's the same letter that we switched, it doesn't count as a new one. So our 11 factorial, we're going to get that smaller. And now we look and say, well, what letters are repeating? I see that we have an S. And how many S's are there? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 S's. So in our problem, we're going to put a 4 factorial in the bottom. Now, what other repeating letters do we have? I see we have I's. So we're going to count and say, well, how many I's do we have? And we have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 of those. So that's going to be a 4 factorial. And then do we have any more repeating letters? I see we have P's. So how many P's are there? 1, 2. We have 2 of those. And so we do a 2 factorial. And now we're going to simplify this. Now, I do think it's kind of fun to think about how things cancel and how factorials actually work. So I'm going to do this one by hand. So if we do 11, you know, what is 11 factorial? 11 times 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5. And when I get to 4, I know it's going to go 4, 3, 2, 1. But I'm actually going to just write 4 factorial because that's what 4 factorial means. And the reason why I stopped right there is because I look at my denominator and I see there's a 4 factorial down here. So I'm going to be able to cancel those. And then we have another 4 factorial, but I'm going to write that one out. 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And then times our 2 factorial. So our denominator, this 4 factorial is right here. This 4 factorial is this 4, 3, 2, 1. And then this 2 factorial is this 2 times 1. So what we can do now, our 4 factorials will cancel. If you notice, everything is separated by multiplication up here. So we can do kind of some fun reducing. Now watch this one. Here's a good trick. I see a 4. Well, let's just keep it simple for a second. If we do, I notice a 6 over a 2. Well, 6 divided by 2, or divide each by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Another thing you could do is you could say, oh, here's a 4 and here's a 2. 4 times 2 is 8, and we have an 8 on the top. So I can take this 8 and divide it with the 4 and the 2. And those actually go away. And what do we have left? A 3. So I see this 3 right here, and I also see the 3 up here that we created. So those 3's are going to cancel. In the end, I'm looking at 11 times 10 times 9 times 7 times 5. Right? Did I miss any? And then we just multiply that out. So we have 11 times 10 times 9 times 7 times 5. So be prepared, even though I did, tell you that there's a factorial button on your calculator, be prepared to show this work in case, on a quiz, I need to see that you know how factorials work and how these permutations work. So I would do a lot of this by hand in your homework. So what do we have? 34,650. So we have 34,650 different ways to arrange the letters of the word Mississippi.